Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of the video. So in this one I'm going to be showing you another way to recreate the assignment 2, which is basically again Tauntaun stuff. If you haven't, please watch part 1 because that's the proper way Tauntaun recreated it. For this one it's going to go a complete different method. So for part 1, just for a recap, what we did was we made a hexagon sketch first, turned it into a hexagon cylinder, and then we made the triangles and then cut everything out of it, made the circle and cut the circle through it. And in Tauntaun's case, the fillets were done while in the triangle stage, and in my case, I added the fillet in the end. But other than that, it's identical in the way we created stuff. So for this one, we're going to do instead is we're going to take a different approach. So what we're going to do is it's going to make the outer hexagon and build it up into a 3D model first. Then we're going to cut the entirety of the inner hexagon out of it. And finally, we're going to add the 3 lines to basically divide up the inner hexagon into triangles. And finally, add the circle, cut the circle out of it and make the fillets. So that's a rough outline of what we're going to do this time. And with that said, let's get started. The first thing I want to do is the only dimension I'll need, because that one's a bit hard to memorize, is the dimension of the height of the hexagon. So I need to go in Xplot, choose 2, edit features, and copy down this length. That's the only one I'll need. Other than that, we're good to go. So let's start duplicating the exact same thing. Actually, I need to get out of boss extrude before it lets me move. So I've already saved the file, as you can see, under different names. So what we're going to do first is top plane sketch. That allows you to go into top plane. Select this, make sure it's on 6, so it's a hexagon. Make sure the degree here is 0. Doesn't matter what the real diameter is. So go into smart dimensions. Now it's your time to change that diameter. Make sure it's 5 inches, and that's good for the first one. And now what we want to do is the same as previously, immediately extrude this out. So this is going to be the step. Whenever you have a new document, this always saves the last number you put in. So in this case, I'll need to copy this number once. So go in here, and that's extruded out. So to sketch, you can sketch on the surface. It's actually nicer to sketch on the bottom, but I'm just going to do the surface sketch and show you how you can flip the sketch inside out later on, if that makes sense. So sketch on the top of the surface. What we want to do next is immediately cut out the whole sketch. So take again the polygon tool, make a hexagon that is 1 inch shorter, and in this one in terms of diameter. Instead of 5 inch, this will be 4 inch. And click OK. That's as far as we'll go for the second step because we're cutting out the whole thing. So extrude it, cut. Again, you can just take this number, but I just normally go through both. And you can flip side to cut. It actually cuts the outside and keeps the inside, but we want to cut the inside and keep the outside. And this allows you to flip which direction to cut. It doesn't matter right now, but it will matter later on. So that's the way we're going to use to flip the directions. So now we have this, which is close. Now we just need to add 3 supporting beams and to basically divide it into 6 pieces. So in order to do that, going back in sketch, click on sketch. This is the surface you want to be sketching on. So the first thing to do is still to make the center lines, because that will help you guide through all of them. And I'll show you how to do the rest later on, because these lines are going to be very important as we go. So next we want to do is make sure you have the center triangle selected, center rectangle, sorry. So we'll start with the horizontal one first because it makes the most sense. Please ignore the fact I just randomly drew 2 rectangles. Going here, make sure this edge of the rectangle is overlapping with the hexagon, because it doesn't matter if we're filling in the same amount of material twice, it only counts at once. But we want to make sure there's no gaps in this model. So this is good. All we need to make sure now is the going smart dimensions, make sure this is an 1/8 of an inch, so 0.125 inch, and we're done for one of them. Now how to do the other 2? The other 2 is going to be harder. As you saw, the rectangle doesn't go on an angle, it's always flat. So what we want to do is we want to make a flat rectangle first, and we're going to use some relations to force it into. Just to make it more clear, I'm just going to make sure it's extra big and thick. but we can change that very easily. So take one of the lines, like any of the two longer sides, and take one of the sides you want to mirror it with, and here you want to select parallel. Okay, I am not allowed to do that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is not this way. The other way to go around is use the 3-point center rectangle. So you want to select the center first, and you want to select where one of the edges is going to be, and you select where the other edge is going to be. Again, it doesn't matter if the angle is off by a little bit. So actually, let me fix the let me fix the this side first. So make sure it's not this angle, because that will be the hypotenuse. You want the normal one. So 0.125 inch. And finally, we want to make sure these two are parallel. So X is smart dimensions, click on this line, and make sure those two are parallel. It should snap into location. So that's good, and do exactly the same with the third one. So take a 3-point rectangle, take this one, take this one, takes this one, and that's good to go. So next I want to do is smart dimensions. Make sure this one is 0.125. And finally, we want to snap those two together into parallel. So X is smart dimensions. Select this, and make sure it's parallel. So now everything is in shape. We're good to basically extrude these into actual shapes. So X is sketch, and you'll come into extrude base. Now, if you're in my case, you might have noticed nothing is happening, which is perfectly fine, because we have made 3 distinct shapes with this sketch. It doesn't know which shape you want to extrude. So what you want to do is make sure your cursor is on the rectangle, not in the triangle between, because you cannot extrude that part. So select the rectangle, it should turn yellow. That allows you to know it knows how to extrude that one, same with the other two. Now, before you click extrude, you notice that it's actually going the other direction, because we select the top of the plane. If we selected the bottom of the shape, it will go correctly. To quickly fix that, here is this button. Just click it, it reverses it in the other direction with extrude back into it. And of course, this is already correct, so that's good. Make sure you have the merge result in, otherwise you're going to get some issues with surface colliding, but make sure you have the extrude in, and just want to quickly make sure all the edges here are good, because I don't want to leave edges that are not good. This one's good. Okay, tight fit, but it's good. And now click good, and now it's extruded, so we got to the same step as we were last time. So the rest is identical, so I'm just gonna go through it very fast. Sketch, select the top of the surface, take a circle, make a very tiny circle, and sorry, let me click OK, so it knows to make a circle. Take smart dimensions, take the circle, and make sure it's 0.2 inch. And okay, so that's good. Take X sketch here, features, extrude cut. You can again take this, but I'm just gonna go through both, and then sketch done. And finally fillets. I am just going to quickly show again how to do fillets. So fillets, what we're looking at here is this, and instead of 0.1 inch, we're looking at 0.0625 inches, what I believe what we're looking at. And of course, for all the angles to fillets, so this is one. Again, if you select the wrong thing, just click the face and go delete, and it's fine. Which in my case, I didn't click delete. Okay, good. And we're done. So click OK, everything's filleted. So that's way number 2 of how to duplicate Tonton stuff. It's not exactly the same way he did it, but goes to the same end result. So that's 2 ways for doing Tonton stuff. Of course, you can probably do a few other ways, but that's the 2 ways I can think of right off the top of my head on how to do it. So thank you for watching.